Game of Small Talk podcast, and since the last time we intervened, we got together. I think it was last Sunday or whatever the case may be. A lot has changed. You know what I mean? One thing about the gaming industry. Let me make myself in the back. Since the last time we intervened, like I said, a lot has changed. We've seen Google officially throw their hat into the gaming arena, which they announced Project Google Stream, which they showed. We're gonna talk about today Assassin's Creed Odyssey running 1080p, high settings, 60 frames a second, actually outperforming the console version of the game. And I think they require 25 down, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to talk about that. And a week later, Microsoft officially throws their hat into the ring with Project X Cloud. We're going to talk about that. But something I believe was GDC 2013, if I'm not mistaken. Might have been 2012. Don't hold me to that. Where they showed off Halo 4 running on a cell phone. But one of the things that held it back, like I said, was the input latency. You know what I mean? But they acquired a lot of tech behind the scenes to get rid of that. Like I said, we're going to talk about this. So they showed it today. I'm going to get everyone's on this panel's opinion about that. A few other topics, smaller topics, but that's right now. That is the talk of the town. And I'm dying to hear what Crap says. I know Crap has, I'm not mistaken, a data cap, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe not the best internet. Maybe both. Maybe he may have been. Maybe born with a bad leg and a club foot. I don't know. Maybe he may have both. Maybe, to see how this would it work for him. Like I said, we're going to talk about it. The pros and the cons. Me personally, I don't know how I feel about it. And I was talking to show behind the scenes. It was sounded like he was a little excited about it. Tim will be here in a few minutes. But as you guys come in, you'd be so kind is to hit the like button. We try to have a Ray entertaining show to say the least. Show you there? You there, good brother?
Nope, it's just me and the Crapgamer.
Oh, okay. Well, show what's going on with you, good brother? I don't know what happened.
Nothing much. Just learning about this cloud thing, and yeah, I see it's got a lot of people confused, kind of like you.
Yeah, well, I'm not confused. I just don't know if I'm.
Yeah, mixed feelings.
Yeah, very much. You know what I mean? Some pros and some cons. We're gonna talk about that. But other than that, what you be getting into? What are you playing? What are what are you looking forward to? A little small talk.
Just like I said last time, I saw that crappy Venom movie. Don't see that, guys. It's not worth it. And I'm just still playing Tomb Raider. That's about it.
Okay, all right. Scrap got his mic unmuted.
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
What's going on, good brother? It's always a pleasure. How you feeling?
I'm doing good, man. Just I've been gaming a lot, man. There's I had a couple of days off this week, so I got a chance to kind of catch up on a lot of
you've been firing up the videos, man. I can't keep up with Scrap drop. What do you drop, like 3 videos a day?
2 or 3. It depends on what's going on, but yeah, I got a chance. I'm pretty deep in Forza Horizon 4, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Just that's a really phenomenal game. I started.
I know, Crap. I gotta get it. I don't have it yet.
Yeah, Astrobot, that VR game on.
I'm hearing great things about that game. They say
it's really good.
Contention, a game of the year. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's gonna win it being in contention for game of the year, but I mean, it's a good game. It's a solid platformer, and it brings attention to the VR platform, which is cool. That's something that it needed, and they actually came out with a good bundle. I don't know how many people are interested, but I think it's $2.99. You can get Astrobot and Moss, which is another great platforming game for it, and the VR headset and the camera for like $2.99. Hell of a deal. Good entry point for VR in my opinion, and 2 great games. You can try it out, man. I highly recommend it, man. If you got an extra few $100 to spend on something and you want to give it a chance, give it a chance. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun.
All right. Anyone, I can't. Is anyone else here yet? Is it still us?
Still us.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess, like I said, these guys are hot back in. They can just join the conversation to come in. Crap. Now, I met you way back in the alleys. We was out there selling the cloud. Everything was about the power of the cloud, right? And, we was like Noah out there building the ark, you know what I mean? And to be fair, Microsoft kind of overly hyped about the cloud. Then kind of dialed it back. But now they're out again now with cloud. What's it? Project X Cloud, all right?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? You know what I mean? All right, listen. I know you have a. First tell us about your internet. I know you have the best internet. Do you have a cap?
Yeah, I don't have the best internet. I don't have a cap anymore. I used to, but not anymore. But I mean, it's not the best. But this stuff isn't for someone like me anyway.
Okay.
So like when I sit there and look at this, I just think, that's cool. It's clear that when you watch the video that they did like about a 4-minute video on the Microsoft channel about it. Phil was in there talking. He makes it real clear this has nothing to really do with the existing console, with that space. This has to do with them going after people that aren't console or PC gamers. And I think that is something that people need to keep in mind. Everybody, there's a bunch of Chicken Littles out there. So even I would have been Chicken Little years ago with this stuff, right? This means absolutely nothing to me, you, or realistically anybody that cares about their console experience or their PC experience. It means nothing to us. This is just sort of them trying to grow the market to a place where people who normally wouldn't have access to a console or PC. And I think that's cool. I think that's will it work? I don't know. We've had tons of stuff like this. If anybody could pull it off, it's Microsoft. But at the same time, I think that anybody that realistically thinks that this is going to replace console gaming or local hardware, just look at the facts, right? So let's say Microsoft, just for instance, it was like, we don't want to make hardware anymore. What's to keep EA in them from putting their, you know what I'm saying? Then Microsoft loses all these other companies that pay Microsoft to have their product on Xbox, right? Because these companies would just go off and do their own streaming thing, and it all falls apart. We're going to end up having to have 15 different streaming services, right? So these consoles keep everybody together. They keep everybody in check. We're not in danger of those of having our consoles taken away from us. I would remind the PlayStation 4 fanboys that were like, Microsoft's looking to get out of the industry. This is it. I'm like, you guys know that Sony announced PlayStation Now like 5 years ago, right? They're still in the industry. They're going to make another console. You know what I mean? This is just people or companies trying to make more money, trying to expand the market, because the market, let's face it, is tapped out with whatever it is. Let's say there's 350 million people that can possibly own a piece of hardware versus 2 billion that they could potentially access by doing hardware and streaming, right? It's not one or the other, it's both. So people, just, kind of keep it in check. It's not a big deal. It's something they're going to start testing next year. Has nothing to do with us or me in particular. It might have something to do with you. Maybe you guys want to try it. It's not for me. Like, it means absolutely nothing to me. It's something that's a bit of a news thing, but other than that, nothing special.
Yeah.
You want to weigh in on that now? I'll go last.
Yeah, I basically agree with everything Crap said. Like, what I said in my video about this is basically this is an extension of your purchase. You know how Xbox goes around with the play anywhere concept? Now it's literally play anywhere. You buy Halo 5, you bought Fallout 4, you bought Fallout 76, you bought the new Forza, which is, awesome. Instead of just only playing it on your console or only playing it on a PC if it's capable, now you can take that phone that you have in your pocket and you can play it there if you want. You can play it on a tablet. You can play it literally anywhere and everywhere whenever you want. That's the whole point of this concept. It's just an extension of your purchase. And yes, you don't need an Xbox for this. Yes, you don't need a PC for this. If you want to just buy these games natively on your phone, more power to you. But that's really the reality of it. And like Crap said earlier, the industry is evolving. This is what Postup's been saying for a while. And at the end of the day, when you see Google get into this with their Chrome system, they're going to do this off their Chrome browser, and it's already working 1080p, 60 frames per second on Assassin's Creed. Probably looks better than what it does on the Xbox One X, which is crazy. And probably Amazon's going to get bored of this. The industry is just evolving, and Microsoft, they have to compete. And don't be surprised in about a year or two if Sony does something similar.
Tim, you did it? Oh, you get this mic together?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. You're loud and clear.
All right.
Now, okay, now you're just coming out for you, and just get your overall synopsis of because I ain't gonna lie, I'm not to be Debbie down here, but I'm still.
Oh, come on, Zaire. I don't
I'm
wanna
gonna tell
hear it.
you why. I'm gonna give my reason at the end, and maybe you
my
may understand.
God.
But what are
We
your
always
thoughts
need
about
one.
what are your thoughts about this? Are you excited?
I think we always knew it was coming.
Okay.
Do we have back sound right now for me?
Oh, that's show in the car, I think.
Yeah, I'm in the car.
All right.
Come on.
So, what I was going to say is that, this was long planned. This is more a move for Xbox versus Google Like Neth was just saying, this is the way the industry and everything's evolving. Things such as 5G and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a big deal. I mean, it's cool that that I could possibly take my game and play it on my phone, but it's just an option for me. They're really going after people who just, if they want a game and they want to have an app, they'll have that option. But this is not replacing anything, so there's nothing to worry about, in my opinion. It's just an option, and I think that they're the best adapted to do this because they have the cloud and they also have the games. So this is Xbox versus Google. This is what we're morphing into. They'll still be Xbox versus Sony in the console space, but they're expanding, and it's not a big deal in my opinion. It's just they're going with where the future's going.
Showstopper.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to weigh in and give your thoughts? I know you ain't got the best connection. What are your thoughts about the Project X cloud? What are your thoughts about it?
I think it's just not a replacement, but just an add-on for me. I mean, it ain't nothing that I'm head over heels about. But I mean, only thing I like about it is just that I can continue playing with a controller on my cell phone, on my tablet. You know what I'm saying? I can take my same games with me, my saves, everything with me, and I can still continue on playing the game, not starting over new. So I think that's slick. But other than that, I'm still a console dude. Whatever console they have come out, I'm gonna still roll with that. And that's me.
Okay. All right. Now maybe Tim. You guys can look while I'm looking at it right now. I know. Shout out to Worry. Actually, wanted to join. Me and Worry did a show about this years ago, and saying before EA Access was announced, saying that I don't know if it was Ubisoft or somebody was saying more or less was alluding to the fact that console gaming and it's console us going on about it's on the verge of dying or whatever the case may be. And I said, imagine if Konami gives you all their games access to their back catalog for like $10 a month, and Ubisoft does this thing, just that and the other, right? Just before EA Access, right? And just thinking about the possibilities, or even I was more or less doing the videos, taking a shot at the PlayStation and saying, what if the PlayStation Now app comes to the Xbox and people will buy it? I'm looking at it like this, right? And I'm just going by Microsoft's track record. And me and Shout out to Porter, we talked about the Zune and how I love the Zune. And they went from giving you the Zune and that you can have all your music there. Then you know what? Then they gave you the service, and then they took the device away and let you have the service on any device, right? And don't get me wrong, this is a business, and Microsoft right now in the console space, they are more adept or equipped to pull this off than Google or even Amazon. But you see Nintendo, what they're doing with how you can play Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Resident Evil, the new one that's coming out. You have to play it off a cloud to their hardware. Now, so what if? Again, I'm listening. Like I enjoy buying consoles, right? The most expensive thing about getting into console game, even for developers, are actually making the physical device, right? What if this thing is a huge success and it takes all? Which kudos, right? And you know what? You really don't no longer need a console, so I'm going to have to spend $500 for what? I can have your app and play your games. You know what I mean? And then what if Sony said, you know what? You're right. We don't need a console. We can still play our games. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. You go back 5 years ago. Who would have thought about Fire Sticks? Actually, Amazon Fire Sticks are replacing cable boxes. In homes. Cody and this, that, and the other. I just don't, man. I don't know, Tim.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let me ask you.
Uh-huh.
Do you think AK is a thing?
Eventually, yeah.
Eventually, do you think that games will be able to play in AK?
Eventually.
Okay, where will you be able to play those games in AK?
On your PC or whatever the case may be.
Or a TV, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna need a console to play those games in AC. So the bottom line is that this is just more of an expanding thing.
Hey, I'll end it right here. Here's Phil Spencer's quote. We are not leaving the console business behind by any means. We are continuing to invest there. The premium living room experience today is on Xbox One X, and we hope to continue that for years to come. But when you think about how we're going to broaden our business, we need to think beyond console to be successful. So obviously what they're talking about is just growing beyond that And when you watch that video today, he also talked about how they're always going to need localized hardware for that best experience, because you're never going to get that best experience that you're going to get with a console through streaming. This is going to be something that, like I said, they're going to offer console quality games on your phone or whatever, which is something that that people haven't really had. And, you know, for the most part, we're all just going to play our games that, like, I don't ever play phone games or anything, so it really means nothing to me. So, you know what I mean? But it is like, if you're at a doctor's office and you want to play some Forza or whatever, then you're going to be able to have that option now. And you know, possibly, who knows, maybe your Switch. I don't know. Like, that's a rumor.
Oh, well, I mean, here's the thing, right? Let's just say, maybe crap. I'm just a little old school, right? But I mean, I just say, because I don't put anything about past this regime of giving you an Xbox app. Yeah, like you said on your Switch, and you get to play. The Nintendo guys get to play Halo on their Switch. Like, God, when is the goddamn end game? You know what I mean? I'm just like, because, you know, Microsoft wants their software everywhere. This is how they make their money. You know what I mean? It just, I ain't gonna lie, man. I talked about it before, but, you know, and I didn't really have a problem with it. But now that it's materialized, I'm sitting back like, what the hell? Like, Jesus Christ.
Hey, let me ask you this, next gen.
Yes.
Did you buy a PSP?
Yes.
Did you enjoy the PSP?
Yes.
Did you use it as your main console, or did you use it as an add-on piece?
I just use this to play.
Yeah. That's all it is, bro. That's all it is. It's just taking that and using that concept and just using it as an experience, man. It ain't nothing that's taking or replacing anything. It's just giving you access to your real games across any device that you have. And that's how I'm looking at it.
Okay.
Yeah, but to be fair in his approach, I think he's saying like Microsoft's going to offer like almost a Fire Stick TV type thing. So what's the sense of to buy the real console over just that cheap stick?
You want a better experience. Aren't the people that are buying now the Xbox One X more than the S because they want that great 4K experience? You're not going to get that through a streaming thing. It's just not going to happen, folks.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Yeah, so I mean, look, Sony's doing it, and Sony's going to do the same thing. They're you know what Sony's doing right now? They have Microsoft's plan is this as well, right? So if you have a game digitally, that's up in the cloud, you're going to be able to play that for free. I guess if you have like a gold subscription on a phone or whatever, right? If you own the game, right? Sony apparently behind the scenes are testing something similar, where if you have a digital game, you're able to have that up in the cloud and then play it on a phone or whatever. They're going to do the same exact thing. And we know Nintendo is they're already allowing some streaming stuff on the Switch. This is going to be an option for people going forward. It's not a be all end all solution for us, though. It's not taking the place of anything. It's adding an option for people. That's all it is. It's just an option.
Homie, pay the bills right quick. Hold up. Overdone said, you guys still going to believe Phil? He's a liar. Man, listen.
He's done exactly everything he said he would do.
Yeah, so how you lie? I don't know.
And I see a lot of people already saying Crap's lying. I don't know how true it is, but I would not be surprised in about a year or two if Sony announces something similar. Then what are you going to say? Is he still lying?
Okay, well, I mean, if you think about it, it's already in place with PlayStation now. You think they
didn't buy that for no reason.
Yeah, they ain't do that for just to be doing it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they thinking. So stop the trash.
Hey, listen, and that's and I'm with you guys. You know what I mean? If it is successful, because this is a business, and if it does take off, just say this thing takes off. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll say the honest thing. I said, my grandson, hey, Pop, I want the new Xbox. Instead of me spending $500, I will get him that little stick. And he doesn't care how he plays his Fortnite. And kudos to him. You know what I mean? And if it does take off, it is successful, because you also got Amazon, what they're gonna, what they're gonna do. And if it really catches on, you know what I mean? I think a light bulb make this go off. You know what? Because I'm being honest with you. You saw what Google just showed with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's running 1080p, high settings, 60 frames a fucking second.
And nobody cares.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Exactly what I'm saying. Outperforming the console version, which is, the X and the Pro.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we haven't really seen this thing running yet. It was their
from what they showed. You know what I mean? From what they showed.
Their own. Yeah, just like we saw Connect showed off. With the
guy. I mean, it's about to be beta tested though, so we won't know.
But they're not gonna. I'm sure there's gonna be some kind of NDAs and stuff, so you're not gonna be able to see footage of that. So, they're gonna show you what they want to see. Obviously we've come a long way in terms of what Sony can do with PlayStation Now, the 720p, 30 frames per second. but I don't think we're going to be getting for the fidelity that we get now, 4K, 60 frames per second, and possibly 8K later on.
That's what you need the console for.
Yeah, hardcore gamers. Here's the thing: hardcore gamers. That's on you. If you guys want to, the hundreds of millions of hardcore gamers or whatever is out there, if you want to drop your console to do streaming, that's on you. For me personally, my mind's made up. I'm not abandoning my console or my hardware.
Yeah.
This doesn't scare. Like I'm a chicken little. Usually this doesn't bother me whatsoever. They said this was happening. We knew this was happening. They announced both things happening at past E3. We knew xCloud was actually the name of this thing previously as well. There was multiple articles about it. I don't see it as a big deal,
Yeah, and it's just the way the industry is going. Like Showstop has been saying it for years. I think even Crap's been saying it for a while now. Google and probably Amazon wouldn't jump on this if this didn't work. They wouldn't be here if there was no money to be made. At the end of the day, Microsoft has to compete. And again, I'm going to keep saying it. I bet you Sony will eventually compete in that way as well. It's just
Sony already has their own thing.
Exactly. They're going to do something similar soon.
Yeah, here's my thing. If you look at everything Microsoft been doing, the moves they made when they buying up PlayFab, and they bought up a lot of these cloud-based companies. This was always in the plan. This is what they was doing while everybody else was worrying about games. They was worrying about this trash. You know what I'm saying? And they was just collecting different entities to make sure that they have the best streaming service, make sure they have the best service period, online service period. So I just see them. I've been seeing them going that way. That's why I kept saying, y'all ain't paying attention to the moves that they're making. They bought up a lot of stuff. A lot of cloud-based stuff, with the servers, with PlayFab, with what's that other thing that they bought up?
They have Simply Gone. It
was like a lot of stuff.
Havoc, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they bought everything, and just to kind of corner the market a little bit.
Okay, how about this angle? Right now, I know this may sound a little old school, but the fact that you can have, I don't know, man, my Xbox games or anybody else can have without buying it's like how you say we are part of a fraternity here, right? And look, bro, there's another thing. Are they going to have X6 to Xbox Live for free like PC?
Yeah, that's the good question I'm wondering. Because if Amazon and Google don't charge for online, which they probably won't, Xbox can't either.
I would assume that whatever service these people are paying for is going to cover their online as well. Like, you're not going to get the games for free if you don't have some kind of, service. So obviously, if you're paying, say, $20 a month, that's going to include your online.
Yeah,
I don't know what it's going to be.
This isn't even going to be a service, though. You're just going to buy these games natively.
Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it. It's like what games you have in your library.
Well, no. How can that be if they're trying to reach 2 billion people that don't own a console or a PC?
But listen, what I'm saying. They can buy the game on their phone. They can buy the games on any device they have and can play it. So I'm looking at it as they purchasing these games.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I don't think. Who's going to want to buy? Who's going to want to buy a game you can't really download or anything, though?
That's how Google. That's how Google.
That's hey, listen, you buy games like that on your phone and stuff.
The best example I can think of is, and Crap, I think even you've done this. I go to something like Amazon Prime on my TV and I buy a movie. Now, I can take that movie anywhere with me. I don't actually download it onto my TV. I just stream through it, and I can stream it on my phone and so on. The same thing happens with those Xbox videos and shit.
Yeah, I guess I could see that happening. And just for me personally, I think that a lot of people, I do think that they're going to offer some kind of service as well. Like,
Microsoft, another service?
Yeah, some kind of service. Why wouldn't they?
Basically what's going to happen is you can buy Assassin's Creed Odyssey right now. Let's say if it was out on Google Chrome, the web browser. You own the game and you just stream it. You're not paying a service for $10 or $15 a month to play it.
Yeah.
You're just buying the game natively, and that's it.
The game and you can play it online.
Yeah, I thought that's how it was.
See, I have some questions about that because now we don't know this stuff, and just like Microsoft does, they announce something and then there's more questions, and we got to wait another 4 months or whenever they're going to be able to talk about it. But is this going to be bundled in with Xbox Live, or is it going to be its own service like Game Pass? And what's the deal with that? Now, I'm thinking, at first I thought it was going to be bundled into your existing account and it would be an Xbox Live thing. But then I'm thinking, I look at PSN now, and they're not. I don't think that they're gonna just make that like a fan service type thing where you can play all your games. I think it's more or less they're gonna say, hey, if you want this mobile access, you're gonna have to sign up to our cloud, and it's gonna be $10 a month. And for
Yeah.
me, if that's the case, I don't know if I'll sign on. I might
I'm
do
not.
it for a month, but if it is included with some type of Xbox Platinum, I might consider it then too, because there's two ways they can go about this. If they do make it Xbox Live friendly, then they get you to sign up people who wouldn't have been signed up with Xbox Live. Okay, so they took monthly active users. Their monthly active users would go up because there's going to be people that say, "Hey, I buy it on the app, and all I need to do is sign into Xbox Live and have a valid Xbox Live account." So they can go
Yeah.
that way, or they could do it a third separate service, and that's where it gets dicey, and that's where we can really draw our conclusions. Unfortunately, that's going to be 4 months, 5 months away.
Fix those
Yeah.
But
possible.
But I
no,
think
what,
competition will
what's
tell, because at the end of the day, if Google or Amazon were to do this and they don't charge anything for your online, or if you don't pay a premium subscription or anything, you just buy the games natively on your app or whatever, then Xbox has to do it that same way. That's
Yep.
just how it's going to
Are
be.
they going to lose out? Yeah, they can't.
Yeah, because they
do it
can't charge
different.
for Xbox Live if it's free everywhere else.
Yeah, but
Good point.
People
knowing,
wouldn't buy
knowing
that.
Google, they doing it. They're gonna offer some type of fee too, because they're in
Yeah.
the business to make money.
You're buying
I
the
don't
game
know,
from the
maybe.
store. You're buying the game from the
That's
store.
what I'm saying.
But
think it
I
really
mean,
would
but
be
listen, if you buying it from the store, what is they
Yeah.
really making per game though?
But they
From
also
buying it?
listen. Here's the thing: Google also has their dedicated device that's coming out with Project Yeti.
Yep.
That's coming out next year. So you know what I mean. So
Yeah. So they're just going to take the fee from you buying it like normal. It's going to be their
Licensing fee.
storefront, and they're probably going to get you some advertisements, and that's about it.
And see, that's gonna get on your nerves. That advertisement on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
It
Oh
could
could
my
be-
god.
yeah,
it
could do that
could
well.
be something like that. It's very this is very forward thinking. Like it's funny how we're talking about this, but yeah, you could have one. You could have a YouTube setup where you have the ads, and then you if you don't want the ads, you pay for the service, the premium. Very interesting stuff, but like again, Microsoft always seems to do this. They tell you something, and then there's 500 questions. I want to know what's the top resolution. I'm thinking that you're going to be able to only play the game either up to what the OG Xbox is playing. So let's say Assassin's Creed Odyssey 2 comes out next year, for just
Mhm.
argument's sake, and that's going to play on Xbox One. You're essentially going to get that same game, either that or dubbed down to 720p on your phone.
Right.
I think PSN now is up to 540p. Is that correct? I don't know.
No, PS now is 720p, 30 frames per second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I imagine it's going to be at least on par with Google, because Google's doing Assassin's Creed Odyssey 1080p, 60 frames per second with high settings.
Yeah, it'll be
That'd
that.
give me at least
probably
equivalent to
right
that.
well,
Yeah.
well, here's another thing that
That's-
And then Microsoft is. I don't know how far ahead they are, but they bought up a lot of stuff. So I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work together.
I have a question, right? Well, concern. Now I watched the trailer, and they show what's kind of alarming to me. They didn't show the X in the cloud. They showed a bunch of Xbox One S's, right? And this thing I think is supposed to officially may roll out next year, whatever the case may be. And I know we brought up the conversation here. Was Microsoft going to be a cutoff line? Because again, if I buy an Xbox, whatever it's called, their console, I want my exclusives to fully take advantage of that console. You know what I mean? But again, if that's it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. Look like those same games are going to be running on 2013 hardware. How do you guys feel about that?
I don't think it's. If I'm not mistaken, they said that they put some of the tech inside the servers to where it was similar to an
Yeah, they put
an
actual
They
parts.
put actual
Yeah.
parts of it into
It was Xbox One S.
Yeah,
I saw
well, they put parts of it into their servers to where when you stream it, it gives it that extra support. So I don't know. I mean, that's how I'm looking at it. I mean, that's what they said, what they did. So I don't know how I feel about it right now until I actually see the game running and
Right.
I get to test it. So we'll see.
Maybe I'm just a selfish old bastard, man. You know what I mean?
Or maybe you reaching. to
Nah,
please your pony friends.
nah,
So
it ain't even that,
Oh,
bro.
shit.
I'm dead serious, man. If I buy, listen, if I go out and buy a $500 console, I want my face to melt, man. You know what I mean? I want my face to melt. You know, you listen. To be fair, I had a problem at the start of this generation with the 360 getting the same games as the Xbox One. Like, I just went out and spent $500 on this. I want to be pampered. I want to be dog. You know what I mean? Take me out to dinner first, man. You know?
So you like to be wined and dined, huh? Before
Exactly,
you give
man.
up anything. Huh?
Yeah, man. You know, like I said, gaming is a very selfish hobby, bro. Jack, you know what I mean? I want to be catered to. You know what I mean? Like I'm like at the end of the day, like I said, I'm just, you know, what I mean, we just throwing around here.
You know,
And
I would be worried. I'd be worried Zaire if they really weren't game creating.
Yeah.
But you know what they're doing, they're going to announce another. It sounds like it's rumored that Obsidian's going to be announcing at the thing, and they got, dude, the hiring that they've done. And I know people have reported on this, but I can conclusively say it's true. The hiring that they've done, even up to now, is in excess of over 600 devs just across Rare and all their existing lines. So their studios are getting bigger. They're talking about making multiple projects per studio. That's something that they're looking into. They're looking into create as many games as possible for the future and for this streaming service and for the native flagship experience that you're going to play on Scarlet console. It's just we're just expanding. It's just about expanding, and I think everyone's going to do it. I think Sony will probably have its similar answer, but the only difference between Sony and Xbox, and I've seen a lot of ponies today going absolutely bananas because they're basically they don't know what to say because they have PSN now and they tried this. But what Phil says in the video is very true. They're uniquely positioned because they have the servers. They're starting point to point. So when it starts with Xbox. It's not with a third party like PSN. They're not handling their own shit. This is point to point delivery from to stream your games, and it's Microsoft. So the experience is going to be probably a lot better than PSN now, and probably very stable and probably of a high quality. That's the difference, but overall, Sony's going to probably have an answer, or they're going to have some type of thing that they're going to be pushing. This is the future. There's no way to turn your back on it. If you could say that it's just, I just want my physical games and lock my door, you could do that probably for the next 25 years. So
I remember when PlayStation Now was announced, a lot of people were speculating that that the next PlayStation 5 or Sony might go into being a streaming company. You know what I'm saying? And providing services that way. This was the talk. So it's only right that people do the same thing to Microsoft because everybody's speculating.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was the same speculation when PlayStation Now was announced. And when we finally figured out what it was, everybody kind of relaxed off of it. So I expect the same thing from this. Right now it's new. We really don't know.
Yeah.
It might not even be a big deal.
It might not be nothing. It might not be a real big deal.
Look,
so
you have to
we
remember,
really don't know.
Microsoft is the same company that launched Groove and Zoom.
Oh shit.
And and these things didn't pick up, and they can't make. I think it's particularly in North America, gamers aren't going to care about this. I'm sorry. Like, I know that, and I'm not wishing it to fail. I just, like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, man, like, gamers probably aren't, like here's the thing, PC dudes, they're all about their power of their rigs. Are they going to want to do that? I don't think so. Us hardcore guys, we're all about the power of the Xbox and PlayStation. And are we going to want to really? No, I don't. I just don't see this really catching on.
Let me ask you a question, Crap. What kind of phone do you have?
I have a Android, some kind of 4K Android dealy.
Okay. If you had the ability to just put a kickstand on that and play the game, let's say you went to your job and you had like 2 hours downtime, and here you are, you just put a controller, put the kickstand on, you could play the game that you were playing last night that you're loving now, or that a game that you're trying to achieve. You're telling me that option you would never use?
I would never use it because I don't use the option out. Like, I have a Switch that I could bring with me. I have Vita. I have a 3DS. For me personally, it's not really a thing that I really care to do. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just a me thing. When I'm out, there's
Right.
never a point where I'm like, oh, okay, well, let me let me play some games here. It's like, because I drive, and I'm driving back and forth, and then when I'm at work, I work, and then when I'm done, I'm home. I want to go home. So, and then I have a big ass console with a big screen TV. So,
Right.
well,
I mean, obviously, it depends on the person. For a guy like me, sometimes I have news for you. It'll be like 2 o'clock last night, and I don't want to turn the big TV on, and I don't want to have to set up the thing. But I kind of like wanted to play Xbox. If I could kickstand my iPhone S Max, and I could just kickstand it and put my controller and sit at the table, I could play maybe 2 rounds of Madden or something, and I could see myself just doing that too. It just gives me another availability to play. Or it's like, say the kids come over and they want to play some shit game, and I'm like, all right, go play that game. But I want to play. I can kickstand the phone. It's just giving you an added availability to play.
Another option.
My thing is, I have
that's the way it works for me.
I have downtown where I work at the hospital, and that'll be beneficial for me to be able to just hook my controller up to my phone and play some games from there if I choose to, So
right.
Yeah, I gotta pay the bills real quick. So Silverback with the $2 saying, "Save console gaming, buy goddamn PlayStation." And Rossetti with the $5 saying, "Now it's okay to stream because Microsoft says they're doing it." I don't think necessarily Crap's a fan of this, and at the end of the day, I think Azure has a leg up on what PlayStation Now was.
Yeah, I don't think anybody in here said it was like the coolest thing ever. I just think we just
rewind and listen to the part where I said
maybe they came in a little tardy or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like Crap doesn't even care.
I'm not going to use this at all, man. I never said it, and I never, it's never been for me. And I can tell you right now, for Showstopper, because I've known this man for years, said years ago that he would use PlayStation Now even. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like for the downtime. He was like, I'll be at my kid's soccer or whatever, and I'll play something. So I remember this stuff too. It's like, for me, it's not a big deal. For some people, they're going to probably use it, but I don't think it's like this be-all, end-all bad
I got a question for you, Crap.
You've come a long way. You've come a long way, Crap. Like I told you,
come a long way, boy.
Like I told
you, I was hell bent on not even, you know what I'm saying?
Getting Scorpio and all that shit.
On PC level, boy. I was sitting here, boy. He went off on me like, I'm quitting, baby.
Hey man, we all mellow a bit in our old age.
But okay, how about this then? And before we switch topics, there's a few other things I want to cover here. How would you feel about gaming as whole? Because if it is successful, just be clear on this. If it is successful, and if it does take off, you know what I mean? And again, it's not this. What I'm saying, Ubisoft have said this, EA have said this. You know what I mean? Like, you maybe not this generation, maybe not the next generation, but maybe the generation that the need of having a actual physical console is dissipate, right? How would you feel if that's the case? That, you know what, I just hook my TV up to my controller up to my TV or whatever the hell, and play the latest Halo and Gears, and that's it. Like, how would you feel if gaming progresses so far to that point? It's running off 12 Titans in the cloud, whatever the goddamn case be. Blazing visuals.
I wouldn't want that, and here's why. Because if something go wrong, you not gaming. I think we still need hardware, because you can play offline just in case anything ever happened. You know what I mean? I don't want that, nobody to have total control over how I game, like or when I can and cannot, based off of how their service is running.
Well, you get that now when Xbox Live is down. You can't play certain games. Or
that's Xbox Live, but you still can play your games.
Certain games games that are not always online. Like, try to boot up 2K or something if you ain't got.
You can play 2K.
But all the other shit, the shit, that you grind, it's not there. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, we've all talked about, you know what I mean? What about gamers in the military? You got access to internet and stuff like that, right?
God.
Yeah,
I think your worries, though.
That nuclear hub.
Yeah.
Nuclear sub.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck is a nuclear sub?
I just don't think what you're talking about is close to happening right now. It's
Yeah.
long time away. Like probably after our time. I hate to say it.
Hey, Tim, I might not get them as long. I'm a person of color, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. I might just last one last year. My ass might be ready to check out in a minute, man.
No, I hope not. I'm saying I gotta get on the diet, but to be honest though, I think it's 20 years, 25 years away for that, and even so, who knows what they'll have? They'll probably have something. Listen, there's always going to be that need to have that thing in your house that can push out an immense amount of power. And that's
Mhm.
going to be a flagship device. That's always going to be there. There's going to be an 8K console.
Yeah.
That, and then next, nobody's just going to just want to, I mean, the
Like I
infrastructure
said-
and everything to have that work would take a long time.
Like I was mentioning earlier before you got in here, Tim, if there's no hardware to tie these brands all together, then you're just going to end up with 20 different companies trying to get you to stream from them, specifically trying to cut out the middleman. I don't see that happening. I think that these companies pay Microsoft to be on Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah.
Right? Like Microsoft and PlayStation don't want to lose that. So they're going to have to continue to do a box. They're going to continue to push the boundaries of a console experience, a local hardware experience. Like this is nothing to worry about, like honestly, people were like, you can still buy CDs, Blu-rays, DVDs, 4K Blu-rays, like you can still, and this was years after people said it was done, and that medium is easier to consume digitally and streaming than video games. Video games is got to have responses to it, right? It's got to be responsive. The music and stuff doesn't, or like sometimes I don't know how many of you guys do this, but I'll stream from my phone, Spotify or whatever, to my while I'm driving or whatever. I'll stream it to my stereo, right? And it'll sometimes skip or whatever. And you're okay with that, but you can't have that skip when you're gaming because it'll send you back. So it's got to be perfected, and I think even perfected.
That's gonna take some time.
Yeah,
that's gonna take time.
I'm just looking at it from like a mobile perspective. Like, I don't want to play Candy Crush and shit, but if I can play like Halo 3 on the go, I'm all for it.
I'm all for
it. And look at this. Fortnite. They have a mobile game you can play against PC and consoles if you want. What is it? A Call of Duty Black Ops 4 mobile game leaked? Who knows if that's going to be able to do, like the same type of thing. People want the whole pie. They've tapped out what they can with just the consoles and PC. They want more. They want the mobile space, which is growing tremendously. Mobile people want better stuff.
I have a question for the panel.
Wait, hold on. Let me pay the bills real quick. Saphir, I can't remember. Say fifth, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. My man said I just picked up a game called Assassin's Creed Odyssey limited edition. I don't have it yet. I can't wait to get it. But shout out to
that game looks dope.
Yeah, I know. You can fight monsters. Yeah. I'm all about it.
That game is amazing.
You can't let Google and Amazon control that industry, but go ahead.
Yeah, that game is amazing. By the way, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I gotta get it.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's amazing. Wow, they went full on RPG with that game too.
So it's better than Origins because that one got repetitive.
Yeah, a lot of it is kind of repetitive.
Yeah,
I like I seen monsters. I seen them fighting a bull with some horns and a cyclops.
Yeah, well, it's more RPG now. They went like 100%
They went
RPG.
the Witcher route. They went the Witcher route.
Yep.
Okay.
It's very RPG, and it might be the best looking game I've ever seen. So,
hey.
Yeah, it's like amazing. Play it on the X. Woo, blow your mind.
Oh shit. Well, I guess moving right along, we're talking about this Sony patent for something as far as backwards compatibility, backwards and forwards. There was.
Is that a rumor?
No, it's a patent.
Or is that a fact? It's a fact now. Okay.
Yeah. Back. I know it was a question. I think it was a no-brainer for them to have backwards compatibility in the PlayStation 5. Like, what do you guys' thoughts about that?
Nice of them to have. Nice to know that the PS5 is going to have options that the Xbox One X has had for a while now. That's cool of them. Props.
Say welcome to the party, crap.
Yeah, exactly.
Never too late for the party.
I just think
V-Sync and backwards compatibility. Who would want to play this? That's all I could think of.
Old games. This nostalgia.
Who would want to play this?
But it's cool. I mean, I think it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Great.
That's the least thing they can do. You know what I'm saying?
The least thing they can do.
Every console should have backwards compatibility.
I mean, it's
Oh,
not
yeah,
nothing
for
new,
sure.
but I know
It's not new, but
yeah.
every console
It's
should
big
have it.
now.
Yeah.
Exactly. I
That's
think
all
that if it was,
x86.
Yes, it's not.
I think if it was up to Jim Ryan, they would have no backwards compatibility. But I think Sony's smart enough to realize that these games do matter, and playing like their classics in 4K is cool, just like it's cool playing Gears 2 in 4K, or Red Dead Redemption. That stuff is cool.
I'm curious how they're gonna do it. That's what I'm curious more about. Is they gonna emulate,
Yeah,
they
or
have
is they
to.
gonna go with the chip route?
I don't think
it's
the format is
emulated.
changing. It's going to be x86.
Well, here's the thing.
So here, I wanted to say this: if they go emulation, they need to be starting on their games right now.
Probably for the PS2 for the older games, but from the PS4, it probably would just be native. But the dissonant.
Yeah, like if you have a download, you'll just be able to play it.
Yeah, that's how. But you, okay, you just switch it over. That's the forward compatibility.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
It's all
But how many games is gonna be forward though? You know what I mean?
Probably the whole
Well, it's probably
library.
They're gonna build it where it's like all their game library gonna be forward, and
Yeah,
then they're
they're
gonna
gonna be
emulate the PlayStation 3, 2, and 1.
Yeah,
So if they're gonna do it that way, they need to start working on those PlayStation 3s, 2s, and 1 games like now. The
Yeah, I'm
ones
sure
that they're gonna have it, because it takes a while to emulate a game. You got to have people in spot like that, like how Microsoft. That's why we only get so many out, every so often. It ain't like something you can just do massively like that.
I think with the 3, the 2, and the 1, they probably roll them out little by little. But I think the 4 is going to be their day one.
And I think this the same thing with the X. It's everything gonna be day one.
Also, too, when we can talk about this too before we switch talking
Well,
about
with Scarlet, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that the Pro just received an official price cut, and rumor has it that Sony may be phasing out the Slim. What are you guys' thoughts about that?
I don't see why they would phase out the Slim.
Nobody really buying the Slim.
The Slim is their number one seller.
Yeah, I'm about to say the Slim. Everyone's buying that.
It's like the same thing with the 360.
I mean, people mostly talk about the Pro, though. I mean,
online here, but I'm just saying. What I'm saying is that eventually, even the 360 was Microsoft's number one seller, they had to toe the line, cut it off. It had to be a cutoff.
Yeah, after the next console had came out years later, like they're not going to cut off the PS4 Slim right now. There's not even another console that's been announced yet for Sony. Why would they start cutting it off? Like
maybe next year.
I mean, I think they're going to slowly phase it out, kind of like the OG Xbox One, but that'll be about it.
Yeah, I got you.
And maybe
because at the end of the day, I think they're going to want what can be the PS4 Pro and PS5, and they're going to keep doing the lower end and higher end type model. I think that's the idea.
Yeah, I think that's the idea going forward, though.
I have a question that it kind of goes back to what we just were talking about, but it's regards to the XO18.
Okay.
Do you think that Microsoft pushed this announcement up?
They had to
because of the Project Stream that Google did. So do you think this was part of the XO show? Or
I'll give you one step further. Better rather. I think that it was a smart idea for Google to go first to soften the blow. Let's be honest, because if Microsoft came out and announced this, and then Google, all the people that had their pitchforks out, no, Microsoft, they're destroying gaming. But I'll listen and again, it all depends on if it works, right? And and maybe, like I said, I understand that wasn't a controlled environment that they showed it. Project Google Stream. And I think they require you can beta test, I think 25 down. So we have to see what it works out in the real world. But what they show, it worked. You know what I mean? And people were impressed with what they saw. You can talk about the cloud, this, that, and the other. It's another thing to actually seeing it work. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
I have something to say. And I have something to say too. And this is regards to the announcement. Our friend Mr. Pinello went over to Google, and I'm sure he is working on what they're going to offer. I think you're next going to see the same thing with Amazon, a streaming service for games. And I have to say, knowing Amazon, they have their own servers. They might have the premier game streaming service, and I think that's where for the streaming um, aspect, those are the big three: Amazon, Google, and Microsoft.
Yeah. Well, like I said, not room. Mike, I'm sorry, Google is offering in a console, whatever it's going to be, Project Yeti. And imagine this, right? Imagine they take the streaming aspect thing one step further. Now they already have, believe it or not, Google already has the gaming industry in their head, like YouTube, gaming channels, streaming, this, that, and the other. What if they take it one step further with their streaming service? Like Microsoft has Mixer. What if they take it one step further with their how people are able to interact with their audience via YouTube? Because YouTube is the biggest platform. We go YouTube, then we go Twitch, and then we would go Mixer, right? What if they just take that even one step further? You know what I mean? In the way that you're able to put on your show, you know what I mean? Like you say, Tim, offer emoji support or whatever the fuck the case may be. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know what I mean? It's I won't say it's an exciting time, but like I said, maybe I'm just the old guard. With us here, old guard of the game, because remember,
You turned into crap game. You turned into crap game.
Maybe I have.
Turned into
Maybe I have, because now, it was one thing to talk about it, but it's here now. You understand what I'm saying?
I don't think you have anything to worry about, to be honest. It's so far off.
Oh, here's a question to you. Here's a question for you, right? Listen, we can. I hope we can all be honest here. You don't like the days of having true Xbox exclusives?
What do you mean?
Just if you want to play Xbox games, hey, it's part different. You got to buy an Xbox. You don't miss those days?
Anything we don't do.
You know what? I don't really. I like the fact that I get now a free PC copy because I have a PC. It's just I don't know, but I like when we had our one-on-one interview. It's something that I definitely think that Microsoft should never take off the table, and something that they could always go back to. But for me, it's the added availability to have an extra game on PC is not such a horrible thing. I'm over the exclusivity thing, but it definitely can be a selling point for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how about you, Sean? I mean, I honestly, I think that thing is off the table. Now you're talking about Project X Cloud. The days of this that's gone. But Joe, you don't miss the days of having true exclusives? Like only
I when I purchase something, that's mine. You know what I'm saying? On any console that I get, you know what I'm saying? I like that aspect. I mean, as far as everybody else enjoying it, I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? But when I purchase it, it's mine. So that's all I care about. Do I get to play it? Do I get to game and beat it and all that little stuff? Do I like the game? That's more important to me than if it's exclusive to one platform or another.
Let me reword this, all right? And again, maybe this is me looking at the world through a keyhole, right? If you look at Sony, you look at Microsoft. I'm sorry, Sony and Nintendo. Hugely successful. Their games and exclusives are selling in the tons of, and they're doing things the traditional console way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's Microsoft just saying, "Hey, we can't compete with those guys." This is the only way that we can compete, and saying, and trying to rush to how you say reach that 2 point whatever billion gamers, and we can't do it the traditional way. Like I don't know, man. It's just.
I mean, I think it's partly that, and they also have to compete with Amazon and Google. Like I keep saying, you can't let those guys just run wild. But at the end of the day, about your stance on true Xbox exclusives, I always thought Xbox, like how the PlayStation treats their brand, the Xbox needs to be the premier platform. It needs to be the premier experience. Maybe the PC and mobile can get Halo, but they should wait maybe a year. Like they shouldn't be getting some of these games day and date. That's how I feel about it.
I have arrived.
Always have the premier experience.
Okay, K-Maker 405 is in the house.
What up? What up?
Okay. Of course, we're talking about. We back to this again. Project X, Google Stream. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on it? You know what I mean?
Oh man, I'm excited for it. I think that it's people shouldn't be upset about options. That's the one thing about it. They made it clear on their video that they're still going to be making consoles. They're not going to go away from the people that just wants just a console to play in their homes. This is, again, just an option. I mean, for the people that want to cry wolf, and if they stream Netflix or Hulu, I think that they're hypocrites, because I think that if you are okay with, anything digital or streaming from that aspect, then you should be all down for this. If you like the Switch, if you are also into the Vita, where you could go and you can take those and play your PlayStation games off of that on the go, then again, why would you not be excited about this? I mean, I seen the Google stream that they were doing. I seen it was about 10 minutes long. It looked really good. Now, they didn't show any like fighting scenes or anything, but they did show the game going like that. And it also said that it was only you only use like 25 megabits per second. So I don't know what Xbox is going to be at, but that's not a lot at all.
It's down. It's 5. They want it down. Yeah.
5 to 10.
Google's or Xbox?
Xbox.
Oh, wow. See, so that's to just tell you right there, the technology is fantastic. They're using this is just the future. It's moving into services, also with the streaming and all of that. And since Google's going to be a player, Microsoft is going to be a player in it. This is going to keep everything afloat, and Microsoft is going to have to stay.
Hold that for 1 second. I got a question for you, Megan. Hold up, my man Samuel Ashman. He said, "I buy a console for exclusives. They give them their identity. Third-party games are just a bonus for me." What is your answer to that?
I mean, they're still exclusives. I mean, you can paint the picture of saying that because it goes on PC that it's not an exclusive. That's fine. I'm not here to argue that point, but all I know is that it's not those games. Halo, Gears, Forza, any other of these games is going to be coming from the studios that they acquired. They're not going to be on PlayStation or Nintendo. So for me,
they're console exclusive.
Yeah,
I guess.
They're console exclusives. And the more and more you look, there's more PlayStation games that's going over to the PC as well. So this is just business. These guys are not really so much looking about. Maybe Sony could be in that same group, but since they changed to go into user base, this is all about trying to reach as many users as possible. The software is king here. That's where the money is really made at. So that's the angle I think that Xbox is going, and they're going to try to cater to everybody in some way, shape, or form.
Okay, hold on. Mr. Billskin, Overdone
Good point.
He said exclusive gives reasons to buy a console. Xbox equals none. And Puerto Rico, I'm sorry. K-Maker, you are right as far as them before, but now we're taking it one step forward. We're talking about cell phones. We're talking about tablets. We're talking about, TVs or, I just like, here, and again, and I will say this, if this thing gets successful for them, say if it does take off, right? Mm-hmm. And the Scarlet becomes, or whatever, the next Fire Stick in the hood, right? And I know that it's niche of business. Sony and Nintendo are sitting back. Look, right now Nintendo's working on their streaming service where you can stream Assassin's Creed Odyssey to the Switch and a couple other demanding games, you know what I mean? What if we move away from the fact that we don't need, hardware anymore? That's my firm word, you know what I mean? Because I'll give you an example. I love the Zoom. Microsoft, that was their dedicated, answer to the iPod. Then they went from the Zoom to Xbox Music Pass to Groove and play it anywhere. And it's done. You know what I mean?
I get that point. No, I'm sorry. I'm just saying I get the point, but to me, it's more like it's just an option. This isn't anything that's been rammed down your throat that you have to have. If this thing takes off, then trust me, everybody else is going to follow suit, and they're going to be doing the same thing in one way, shape, or form. And then the question is going to be: did you have that same energy when Xbox was the first one to do it? You see what I'm saying? So this is just to reach out to people that aren't interested in buying consoles, or at all. They, people like to play the game.
It's what PlayStation Now originally thought what they were.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's what's where was this doom and gloom then? I mean, it's funny that when we put Microsoft on it, it's like, hey, we have to just make the scenario where they're going to get out. Sony's the one that started this. I mean, OnLive really started it.
To be fair, they did do the same thing with Sony.
Yeah.
They was talking about
I used to give hell about it.
Sony. They was talking about Sony being a streaming service. They might go until to being just a company that make games and play it across multiple different devices, because PlayStation Now kind of was alleviating that because you could be able to play it on any device ever. So just to be fair, they did do the same thing. So
and we don't know how PlayStation will do. Like, are they going to let their exclusives be console exclusives for a certain amount of time? We don't know yet. But we know Xbox is going to allow
like
it.
you said, I think you said in one of the chats, like, what if they make their PSN Now like Game Pass? Like you said, it's like
and
they do that.
Basically are doing that.
Well, that I'm talking, and you even said take it further. A game in day, like God of War 6 or 5 comes out, and that's day and date. You imagine how big that would be for Sony. So there's going to be moves that Sony's going to make too, and this is just an evolving enterprise. The way it's evolving place, that just it keeps evolving.
Yeah, I can actually even see Sony even taking it a step further and putting it on their televisions, and maybe having that app, something where everybody was making fun of Xbox was saying that they were going to do that. Well, I can't wait for the Xbox app to be on PlayStation, all that type of jazz. But I can see Sony even doing that. I mean, they did it with PlayStation Now. It just didn't work out. But I bet if they do it again now, with the way that they have their system going by following the same path of Game Pass, I think it would be a lot more fluid. It's all about the pricing with everything and the accessibility. Like, look, I mean, somebody like my girl Delilah HD, she got that high fiber wire out there in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Out here in Oklahoma, we don't. They're putting it in now, but we don't have that yet. But still, we got the Gigablast, and I'm getting 300 up. You know what I'm saying? So it's 300 to 400 up. So it's coming, but like Crap would say something about, well, what about me? What about that? Well, if it's not there for you, that's the option where you get the console. I'm still going to get the Scarlet regardless. You know what I'm saying? So, but I do want to test this out. I'm a guy that likes trinkets, and I also like to see the gaming community just thrive. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what console, who's doing it. I just like to see gaming go forward. I mean, there was this doom and gloom in 2013 where consoles were on the way out, cell phones was going to take their place, and consoles just flourished. PlayStation is contributed to that. They got the market share. So again, when you look at this, it's all up and up, and it can't, and there's nothing to look down at. We're all going to benefit from this one way, shape, or another.
All right, hold on 1 second. I don't know if you guys seen this. My man said, obviously, Rico, I can't even pronounce, and Zaki, obviously they're going to be exclusives to entice you. I don't know if he's talking about on Microsoft side of things or.
Yeah, I keep seeing this one comment. He was talking about on Microsoft side of things where people, but I'm seeing this another comment by Spartan God. Shout out to him. But he keeps saying this is exactly what PlayStation Now is right now, and it's just not what it is, because this service is you're taking all the games you already own, any game you might buy, any game on Game Pass, and you're able to stream it probably for free onto another device. PlayStation Now, you pay a monthly fee to play certain games. There's a huge difference there.
Well, we don't know.
They didn't say
know
anything
sure
about
yet.
a price yet. Yeah.
No, it's not.
We'll see.
They don't make any sense. I'm buying a game and I'm going to pay you to stream it.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
No, that's. I mean,
it's just going to be a free option.
No, I think
if it is a free option, that is a trump card.
That's what I got from it. That you buy a game.
I think that's all it's going to be.
I thought it was just the purchase of the game, also.
Yeah,
so we'll see.
The purpose is to reach people that who doesn't own an Xbox. So maybe you want to play
an Xbox announcement, Tim. Of course, there's always going to be questions with Microsoft.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And again, I will say this too: Microsoft does a horrible job at explaining things. You know what I mean? And just they just need to come out.
This is pretty hard to explain, though. Like, they did a pretty good job on the Wired thing. They explained it, but a lot to really grasp what's going on here and what we know of gaming and what it's kind of morphing into. It's a lot to wrap your head around, to be honest.
It makes me more excited about the XO event, because instead of coming out and talk and making this a big focal point or somewhere to take away from maybe another game or acquirement.
Okay, we can close the show with that.
I'm excited about that.
Do you guys have high expectations for the event, or you're walking into it without any expectations whatsoever?
I don't have, my expectations is low. I'm just gonna be real, because I want to be excited, so I don't want to build my expectation. I learned that with Microsoft. Just keep it low.
How about you, Tim? EXO event? Are you expecting them to go out there and perform
I
a
think
cool,
they,
bro?
I think you'll be all over them no matter what. But I
Who,
think
me?
they're gonna,
Are you, hey
yeah,
Tim?
you're gonna,
Are you questioning
you
my
know,
integrity? The
the
truth.
Yeah,
You
man.
can't
Yeah,
handle
man.
the truth.
Your
Under that
integrity is
contract.
always in question, according to you.
I don't know. You drank
Hey,
some
listen, man.
pony juice. I don't know.
Listen,
I'm waiting for the
man.
old Zaire to
That
one day.
That
Hey,
pony
listen,
juice.
man.
I
Listen
don't
here,
know.
man.
He'll be back
I'm,
soon,
I'm
though.
holding out hope, but no. But
They
for
said-
my answer on it,
Yeah.
I think they're gonna have a strong show. I think that Phil.
It's
I
gonna be
could
solid,
usually
but,
tell. I could tell usually the way sometimes they talk, and I just feel like they're
Okay.
confident about
Okay.
this. So yeah, I do feel like they're gonna have a good show.
All right. Crap Gamer.
Yo,
What are you expecting? Or listen, I understand you're gonna give us a get Megaton 3 o'clock in the morning. Besides that, are you expecting them to go out there and put the baby to bed with this one? Just
Megaton.
I mean, like Tim said, there's always going to be the people that are going to try to turn anything.
No, you. It's
positive
about you. What are you
into-
expecting?
Oh, I'm
You.
expecting studio announcements. I'm expecting some game announcements, some gameplay footage from Crackdown. I'm thinking it's going to be a good event.
What about
I'm excited.
Obsidian? Because
I'm
that for
thinking,
me,
yeah.
if they do Obsidian, that's it's
That's an instant W. That's what I've been
Oh
saying.
yeah, that's the drop. That's the mic drop.
Instant W.
Yeah, I think they've got that in the bag. I think they're gonna do it, and people are either gonna be excited. There's always gonna be the people that
What did they make?
they made a lot.
Protocol. They made
I'm trying to
Fallout.
Fallout. Yeah, that's what I was
4.
thinking. I was like, okay.
I mean Fallout Vegas, not 4.
yeah, Vegas.
They
Yeah,
did
they
a
got
couple games.
Pillars of Eternity,
Mhm.
games like that. Yeah,
Oblivion, if
it's-
I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I still think they should get Crytek, but we'll see.
Oh man, that motherfuckers. Hell, here's the thing. If and to be honest, if XO 18, for me, like I said, to really get the gamers excited again, this is what they have to do. Take it one step further and just announcing studios. They need to show what these studios are working on. I don't care if it's Sony go out there and show dreams.
CGI trailers.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Maybe
It's
what
just-
Playgrounds is doing.
Yeah, because them. He say, hey, we bought Obsidian, cool. But what people get excited. I don't get excited for what's showing what they're working on. I don't give a you got to go out there and dust off Shanghai Heights, push that shit.
Yeah, that's what wasn't that stealth game?
Yeah, I'm just saying. You know what I mean?
Blow the dust off that pup, man.
Yeah,
Bring it
and
back.
bring that bitch back out there. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Do it like the Last Guardian.
Dark game.
You know what I mean? It's that. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear.
You're gonna get a game. I think you're gonna get
but
a
here's,
game.
I don't
Bring
want.
back
You're gonna get a
Scalebound, blow the dust off
game.
up.
You're gonna get a game, whether that's Fable, it's possible.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a game announcement, and you're probably gonna get
I just don't want. Here's the thing. I don't want them spending too much time or games that are already out. Don't bring PUBG back out there. Talk with a new map and.
they
No,
might
don't
have
do that.
they might have enhancement games. They might have games that the X enhanced games. But I do think you're gonna get Crackdown 3. You're gonna get a new game reveal, and I think you're gonna get a possible acquisition. The guy Kilo Brill from Reset Era.
Yeah, I read
has
it. Yeah,
pushed-
I've seen it.
Yeah, he's pretty accurate.
Even if
That's
it's,
that's a big one. But for me, if they hired Obsidian, I don't know if I would like to have them on something like Fable, but I heard they're not a good fit for Fable, to be
No.
honest. But who knows?
because they've done like games like Oblivion, if I'm not mistaken. I don't see them as Fable-ish. My man Siffy say good night, guys. Bye to the chat. Peace. I don't know. I just and again, don't come out there talking much about two controllers. Just come out there. They can. It ain't got to be long. They bought Obsidian.
Agreed.
Show us something that they're working on, or something that Ninja Theory is working on, or something. You know what I mean?
Studio that they got. Show
Yeah,
us something.
yeah.
that
I think they would have got killed if they bought. I think it would have been a little bit rougher on them if this was their big thing. Like, let's just say here we are, XO just happened, and this was the top announcement. They'd be getting murdered. The Project X Cloud.
Yeah, they
If
had to
they-
announce that now.
Yeah, so
They're gonna spend some time talking about it though.
I think
Yeah,
they
they
get
had
it.
to announce due to Google showing off their shit. That's the truth.
Yeah, that's why I was saying I was excited about them talking about it now, so they don't have to talk too much about it.
But you'll see it in live action over there, probably.
You'll see Amazon with a commercial in about a week.
Wait, so,
Oh, yeah.
so you
And-
think they're gonna show Project Scarlet at this E3? This XO event?
No.
No.
But you'll see like running on a phone or a tablet or something.
I don't think these people that are saying 2019, I've heard from a good source 80-20% that it's definitely happening for PlayStation. I just don't see it. I just see 2020 as the date.
2020, absolutely. They might reveal it next year.
They're gonna announce it next E3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be that would have some concerns for me if they put out the PlayStation 5 next
you
year.
gotta let
Why?
the Pro live for 4 years.
Well, no, because you're kind of putting it out a little bit too early, and of course,
It's been
what is that
6
price
years.
range going to be? That no, it's not.
But think about the Pro owners.
It came out in
the Pro-
2013.
13, yeah.
Yeah, but think about the Pro owners. They came in 2016. You're gonna let them have it for at
here's
least
the
4
thing.
years.
Like I was telling Crapping them before. This not a but look. The Pro and the X are not meant to be new generation. It's meant to run what you got a little prettier.
I know, but you're not gonna want another piece of hardware not even 4 years out from
you
now.
know how you feel that
Right.
you come out and you show a game that couldn't be done on previous hardware. Come out that Sony did with the smoke and mirrors. Give us a bunch of oh shit! Now this is next generation. Problem solved.
No, Sony had the remember when they had the demo
Ducks
of
and
the
ducks
the
thing.
the
Pixar
the
graphic.
no, they had the demo of the that guy that talked. He was like a it was E3 2013. They had the demo of the wizard.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah,
wizard
yeah,
guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Capcom game. Yeah.
But they also showed that it was like a demo thing, but they could do
The
something
white
like
guy
that.
with the robe.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was like, ha ha, and they're like that was running exclusively on PS4 hardware.
That's
That
all you
was
got to do.
that was sick. Yeah, they lied like a mug, but they had
But
everybody
that's
like,
what you
whoa,
do though. I mean, that's how you
is
sell
that
a
what we
console
looking
though.
at?
You know what I mean?
You're right.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And it's not like you come out there and show like gamers won't have a problem long as they show something that we didn't see this generation. And looking at games like, and I'm not saying it's going to be easy to do. If you're looking at games like The Last of Us 2, it was like, damn, is that got to be PS5? They already raised the bar so goddamn high. And I listen. I will give Sony credit for that. They're good at how you say selling sand on the beach, goddamn ice cubes to a goddamn Eskimo. They're good at it, and I ain't knocking them for it. You know what I mean? It's a business, you know. But
Us.
yeah,
So Z, do you think the PS5 is next year?
with all indication, yeah. We listen. Listen, somebody's coming next year, and when you start, getting these leaks and is heating up like the same thing before the X and the PS4 came out. VG leaks, rumored specs, and like then like 6 months, 7 months before they came out. Yeah, somebody's releasing next year. This was listen. It's already
The
6
Neo
goddamn
and the
years.
Know.
It's already 6 goddamn
I
years.
don't know. I don't see.
Yeah, I'm saying 2020.
I say
Also,
2020,
too,
but
you
I mean,
also
know.
have the Call of Duty developer. There was Sledgehammer. What the fuck those guy's name is? Or
It's all rumors and all hinting of their talk, and
Yeah.
it's just
you
you
had
don't know shit.
Bethesda on
till it
stage.
actually-
Listen, you had
Did
Bethesda
they
on
pass out
stage.
any dev kits yet?
Oh, they out. Well, they already out.
Supposedly they
Yeah.
have.
Yeah,
but,
I've heard
I'm
that.
sure
Yeah.
they're out there.
Yeah. Also,
but
you
I
have
heard that the dev kit
If
could be
that's the case,
something.
man, it's right around the corner. But I still think it's 2020.
listen.
I mean,
you have-
even if they do, then I mean, then it's
I
already.
think they announced it at E3. This is what I think. They're gonna announce it at E3. Give us a year to prepare for the price of whatever it is.
Yeah,
Well,
I can see
$500.
that.
Then because they ain't even announced it yet for this year to get us prepared to pay for it.
It's
next
$500. $500.
Then they would do the same thing that Xbox
Yeah.
did, which would make more sense. Like I agree with Show, like they would
Yeah.
announce it this year,
Announce it this year.
and then drop the Pro for $100 to get everybody excited about it, and then maybe want to trade in for the Pro, and then have their system, and then people will get ready to trade in their Pro for the PS5. I mean, I mean
You
that.
ain't got- I don't know.
That just makes that just seem more
Yeah,
logical.
I agree with that.
Sticking to
100%
next year,
agree with that.
Sony's.
You gotta let us get prepared though.
No, you ain't
Yeah,
gonna get prepared.
yeah.
We're gonna
Yeah.
maybe have an announcement in February like we did
You just
before.
announced it at E3 and said
No.
coming out in December. And
Like
then,
they did the first, like they did in 2013. They showed it off in February, showed the console at E3 and launched that bitch in November.
Everybody's been waiting 8 to 10 years though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was
And
Here's the
then,
thing.
and not only that, the pre-order. I mean, GameStop was like,
All right, but let me say this, right? Leave with word of the wise, right? It's already been 6 goddamn years. Dev kits are already out in the wild, you know what I mean? And it's releasing in true Sony fashion. They probably released when the console, just say next year, say November of next year, right? 2019, and it's their 25th year anniversary. Think what we're saying.
Not here. It's not their 25th anniversary.
Well, it doesn't make a difference. It's real Japan or whatever the fuck. It's 20-year
I didn't know
thing.
announce about
Yeah, that's I'm sticking to it, man. The
Yeah.
new
Well, I
console.
mean, you could be right. You was right about the price. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
So
And it's gonna be $500.
It's gonna be $500.
$500.
Okay.
$500.
So how big of an upgrade you think it's gonna be for 500?
At least a minimum 10 T-flops, and a minimum
A minimum? How much?
10 T-flops.
You haven't even seen a price drop on the X though.
Fuck what they talking about. It's gonna, and we could I expect a price drop from Microsoft on the X this year.
oh yeah, the X is definitely gonna get the price
This
drop.
year.
So yeah,
I mean, if they drop it, it's going to be $50. You know, I don't see it even like, and that's for 16. I just don't see.
But Crap, you gotta think about this. Like I told you guys before. What's up, my brother Cornelius King? You gotta realize this too, Crap. I paid $400 for the S. $400.
That's a you problem. Man.
Yeah, I'm just saying $400 for the S.
That's a huge problem.
1.3 T flops, and I told you the following year we got the X at $500. Like, you know, it's gonna be $500. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you did pay for 2 terabytes, but Colonius King over here says, "Great show, guys. I think it's gonna be 2020 for both Sony and Microsoft, and I'll take the L on it, but I think it's gonna be 2020 as well, and the PS5 is gonna be around 400 to 450.
450.
I'll take the L though. If
450.
that's what I'm thinking.
Hell no.
I'll take the L though.
They're not
I don't
gonna
mind
give
being
you.
wrong.
They're not gonna give you. They're not gonna give you 4 T flops for $400 and give you 10 for $400. They ain't happening, Jack. They ain't happening, Captain.
Hey,
Hey, I'll take the L though.
I think Sony and Microsoft gonna come out and say $600 for these consoles.
Oh hell no.
Nah, it's fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
Y'all gotta
probably
pay
will.
for this. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
We need
I know.
$600.
Sony
right?
makes that 400 though. I'll say
Well,
that.
it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be at least 10 T flops, 12 gigabytes of GDR5 RAM, and whatever the hell. And he said the Ryzen chip. You're gonna finally get that Ryzen chip.
The
You know what I
Ryzen.
mean? Yeah,
I mean, I guess I don't think like the Pro was an entry model at that point, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
You can either spend 500 or you can spend 300.
You out, baby?
yeah, so, I don't know.
And that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll be
Yeah.
there in 10 minutes.
Well, I just want to just give my
That all?
point on my little theory on that
Listen,
show.
what starts? I mean, I'll be there in 10 minutes.
I personally, I think that
I'll leave it at the door right now. Jesus, bye.
Since Phil brought up the situation about the talking to Japanese developers, I think that there's going to be some more Japanese games showed like they did with Jump Force and Devil May Cry 5. I would even go even further and say that they might have a deal on maybe having getting a Japanese game that we're not
I wouldn't even
expecting.
consider Jump Force in them Japanese games because they're huge. Like, you know, it's like
Well, but I mean that was a
Yeah.
huge hit. That was
Yeah.
something that you would never see. But I mean, they had DBZ, and then before that, they had Tekken 7. So I mean, that was, and then Final Fantasy 15. So yeah, Microsoft has definitely been trying to get back in good graces with the Japanese.
They said Microsoft. I mean, Phil eating egg rolls in Japan. That's all.
But I think that
I didn't think about until now. Maybe that's why they are a big cell phone user and cell phone gaming over there in Japan.
yes.
So
that might get them.
That might be
interested.
why they go that route. They probably about a game and not
Good point.
the console itself. So
Yeah, good point.
know.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then I think also that they'll talk about maybe getting Obsidian or maybe something else, and then of course I'm gonna have to throw my fanboy in it. They're gonna talk about Mortal Kombat. MK, but I mean Mortal Kombat,
Japan?
Killer Instinct, baby. No. I'm talking about on the XO event. Yes,
shit.
let it happen.
All right.
Mortal Kombat. I'm still gonna keep hope alive for that
Yeah,
and for
I'm hearing
Return of
rumors
Rise.
about Batman.
Yeah.
This is what I hope. I don't want
Yeah.
I don't want to hear from these next consoles no more CPU, GPU bottleneck stuff. Make them strong as it can possibly be. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear that.
Well, Phil said he did say next generation will be focus will be made on performance on the CPU side of things.
Yeah,
The
so
upgrade. But I'm just thinking, if
make,
the X is already
make
6,
that strong in the mug, down for real.
if the X is already 6 T flops, and the next iteration of that is going to be at least FOMO, at a minimum FOMO.
I
It's
say
not
2
double.
more. You think 4?
Yeah, I mean, at least FOMO. If we already at 6 now, so when the next
Wait. So the Xbox 2 is gonna be 10 T flops. What do you think the PS5?
I
will
think
be?
at minimum it'll be 10. They
Okay,
can't come
what's
out
the
there,
PS5?
motherfucker. They can't come out there and say, hey, next generation only 3 T flops more. If we went from
Nah.
1 to 4 and 1 to 6 with mid-gen refreshes, we talking about a whole new generation.
Yeah.
You only gonna give me 2 T flops? Oh no, hell no.
Yeah, no, the next
Yeah,
Xbox
you'll
will
be
be
right.
500, no doubt. It's just I
No,
was
I'm
thinking
talking about just in
PlayStation
terms
5.
of GP Front Force. You can't go from 1 to 6 and charge me 5, and then want to go from a totally new generation and 2 more T-flop. Oh hell no! They
Yeah.
pissed on this then.
But
So at a
before we
minimum
get out of
check.
your crap, you still here?
Yeah,
So you made a video about the PS5 and their patents. Do you want to talk about that?
not really.
Oh shit!
No.
Stop!
Okay.
Put the baby in there.
Gonna catch the rest of the Monday Night
fuck
Raw.
Okay.
Crap said, "Fuck you, fuck you,
And
fuck
Rachel's
you."
on.
Who's next? We'll
All
catch
right.
you guys back next week on Bgst.
Ronda Rousey's wrestling right now, folks. Come on.
Oh, we out of
Oh,
here.